Outside of Time and Space by Brighton-based Satanist, James Hind. I like playing what-if games. What if time and space does not exist? What then is the reality I exist in, and what can I guess about that reality? The illusion of time and space. I think time and space is an illusion, something the human mind invented. Time is a measure of change. Space is a measure of distance from one object to another. Time travel is a fantasy. People infer from time this fantasy that a person can jump around from the age of Alexander the Great to the future of spaceships jumping from one part of the universe to another. Scientists refer to time as a thing, a dimension, a law, even talk about some weird concept called time crystals. Less so, people invent stories in relation to space. The void, fields. So what is out there? To start with, everything exists in what philosophy calls a void, and quantum scientists calls an endless field, magnetic and gravity fields etc. Think of it as a great ocean. Strife and the fields. Philosophy has a concept called strife, the ruling principle of all nature, universe and reality, that there must be a conflict between two or more parts to create motion, change and evolution. What the individual senses is but the results of motion and change due to conflicts between opposing parts. A field is a complete whole of one thing, but has the potential of parts due to the ability to create a reflection of whole, so that it becomes two parts and so on. Strife arises because the complete whole conflicts with the reflection, creating ripples in the field. Parts and whole go to war, as parts desire to become whole in their own right, and the whole wants the parts to be returned to the whole. Think of it like throwing a pebble in the water, which creates ripples in the water. On ripples and particles. Ripples create the particles. No ripples, no particles. If the ripples stopped, all that we think of as reality instantly vanishes. It is known that an electron has at least one partner, that they can exist at opposing ends of the universe, but that a change in one will reflect instantly in the other. A ripple which gives rise to a particle exists as a something, a locus or anchor point in a field. It has energy and information that will remain forever whilst the ripples continue. There is only one locus, but at least two particles spinning off from the locus, remaining connected to the anchor point and each other. There might be more than two particles spinning into different directions, for if a universe is a 12-sided Platonic shape, there could be 12 particles spinning off one locus moving in 12 directions, all related and impacted by the others and the one locus. I might add that particles can conflict with each and creates more locuses with ripples and other complex layers of particles. However, the information of the lower-level particles are encoded and present in the complex particles at the top layer. What impacts the top will roll down to the bottom, and vice versa. A reality of potential and visible states. Quantum science already observes that an electron operates instantly in multiple states, but only one state of the many becomes real at any one moment, which is to say that if you have 12 particles spinning off from one locus, there are 12 potential states, like a 12-sided dice, but only one potential will become real or visible in what we call the visible real world, when the dice rolls. Quantum science reveals that just by observing an electron, it can change which outcome it will reveal from multiple potential states. What is a reality with no time or space? If time does not exist, how might a person really look or even move? What we think of as motion is only something in change, since space does not exist either. Zeno already has thrown a spanner in the works when it comes to the idea of something moving in space. To be clear, what the human may sense and process as real, is only relevant to survival, and has nothing to do with what may really be out there, called reality. What the human thinks is solid, is ghost-like, moving in and out of potential and realized states in a changing loop, but the senses don't spot the changes, only see it as one flowing motion of a solid object. An individual would panic and possibly no longer be able to function in what is true reality, something that is not solid or constant, just we think it is solid and constant. On walking and seeing two ends of the universe at the same time. Every object in nature exists in something called the edge of chaos, a constantly changing system of energy and information. Too much incoming information and energy can collapse a system, too little flow of information and energy causes stagnation and death. To jump from one part of the universe to another as per the stories of spaceships in hyperjumps in Star Wars or Star Trek, would result in too much energy and information overload for a system to deal with, and will destroy a human being. There are however ways to get access to other parts of the universe, but it is complicated, which is by using the nodes and their anchored related particles. One can use the particle here to see into the universe there by using the partnered particle, remembering that what impacts one particle instantly is reflected and affects the other. Since the human mind is only evolved to process information and energy with one mind, to have two minds would require an invented machine to deal with looking into or even walking in two locations in the universe at the same time.